I'm going to share with you today all the secrets that I've been sharing with my clients over the last 10 years. This is a surefire way to improve your credit score and to improve it quickly. So let's get this party started. So the first step you're going to want to take on this journey to improving your credit score is smashing that like button below. Your credit score is going to determine if you get approved or denied for a loan. Banks, lenders, any lenders are going to check your credit score. Not only is your approval, but if you do get approved, your credit score is going to determine your interest rate. And the interest rate is how much money you're going to pay over time to borrow that money. So the lower your interest rate is, the lower money you're going to have to pay that lender as a fee for borrowing that money. So it's very important to have the best credit score possible so you can qualify for the best terms to a loan, which means it'll save you hundreds of thousands, maybe tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars when it comes to a mortgage. Also, having a good credit score gets you approved for the best credit cards. The best credit cards offer the best perks, the best rewards, the best financing terms, 0% interest. All of the things that you would want in a credit card, those are the cards where you need to have excellent credit to qualify for. There's so many cards out there right now that are paying you to open them. On average, I get $750 for every credit card I open. I remember the days of Chase Sapphire Reserve where I made $1,500 for opening that card. They were losing crazy amounts of money giving away that card. That's a whole other story. Point being is you can make anywhere from $750 to $1,000 on most premium cards. They're willing to give you the money just for signing up for the card. So hey, why not take advantage? I'll be using Credit Karma for this tutorial. I enjoy Credit Karma. It's free. I've been using it for years. It's pretty spot on as far as the steps you need to follow in order to get a great credit score. If we take a look right here, you'll see my score is an 830, which is 20 points away from perfect score. So I'm close, but 800 plus is exceptional credit, so I'll still qualify. Even though I'm 20 points away from perfect score, I'll qualify for the same rates as someone that had an 800 as well. So either way, the goal is to be over an 800 FICO score. Now if I click on credit, now Credit Karma has a great app as well, so if you want to do it on this phone or do it on your computer, they have a good app as well, that good user interface. So if we look at this, it'll kind of give you, where you started out the year and where you're at now, and if you went up or down. And really, if you scroll down, it goes into what makes up the credit score. The most important thing when it comes to your credit is payment history. Obviously, lenders like it when you pay them on time, right? 100% is really the goal. If you click on this through Credit Karma, it will show you this little bar right here that shows your percentage on time and what that means. So really, if you're under 99% payment on time, that is taking a big deduction out of your credit score. It looks like red is 97% or less. So even if you're at 97% of the time I pay my bills on time, that's terrible. You need to strive for 100%. Now, if you're not at 100%, you can take a look through this app and see where your late payments are. You can always dispute those. My wife just had a charge that, she bought something from Victoria's Secret. It was like for $10 or something, and she forgot to pay it, and then it went 30 days late and it hit her credit. She was freaking out because her credit score dropped like 50 points. She was able to just give them a call and say, hey, I never got the bill, and they took it off, and within 45 days her credit score bounced right back up. So if you have any sort of payment history that is late, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, always try to dispute it because you have nothing to lose. If they say no, you actually were 90 days late or 30 days late, then it stays on your credit just as it is. So it doesn't hurt you at all to dispute it. So if you're someone that wants to get your credit score improved quickly and you have some late payments, dispute them. In the description below, I will give you an article on how to dispute if you're interested in that. So then we look at credit card use. This is probably the quickest way and easiest way to get your credit score up quickly. It has a high impact, just like payment history as well. But this is probably something that I have to explain to people over and over again because most people don't know about this, but it has a high impact on your credit. Everyone knows, for instance, derogatory marks, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days late. Those aren't good for your credit. You don't want to have those on your credit, right? Those have a high impact. But no one really understands what credit card use is when you talk to them. So let's click on it and go into it and show you what it's about. Credit Karma gives you a scale here on percentages, green, yellow, orange and red as far as what's good, what's a good percentage to be in, and what's a bad percentage to be in. So credit card use, this is also called revolving utilization. This is also called credit card utilization. So if you hear those words, it's the same thing as credit card use. Every company might call it a little bit different. The idea behind it is, out of all of your limits that are available to you, what percentage of that are you using? If you have $2,000 in limits and you go buy something for $1,000, well, you just used half of what's available to you, and 50%, as you can see on this, is orange, so it's pretty bad. Your score is going to drop that next month when your credit score refreshes. There's a general rule that I've always used with my clients that every percentage point that you can drop this by is a point you can add to your credit score. I'll give you an example. Let's say you had that $2,000 in limit and you went out there and bought something for $1,000. And let's say some things came up and you weren't able to pay off that $1,000, so you just paid a minimum payment, so you're pretty much stuck at $1,000 still. One thing you can do is apply for another credit card. Let's say you get approved for a $2,000 credit card. So you still have $1,000 there, but now your limits are $4,000. They went from $2,000 to $4,000. So instead of using 50% of what's available to you, now you're using $1,000 out of your $4,000. Now you're using 25%. So you, in this example, you'd have went from 50%, which is orange or red, down to 25%, which would be green. And you probably would have gained about 25 points on your credit score that next month when your credit score refreshed. So very important. There is a little bit of a way to hack this, and that's generally by opening another credit card. That'll give you a little bit more of a limit, but you have to be careful with that. Don't go out and open a bunch of credit cards, because that will result in an inquiry, which, as you can see, hard inquiries have a low impact, but they still do have an impact. So don't go out there and apply for a bunch of credit, because you may gain some points with this credit card use, but you also lose points when it comes to having a lot of inquiries. And when you go into inquiries, how many inquiries is too many? They kind of go through as far as how many inquiries. 1 to 2 are generally good, 3 to 4 is and then once you start getting more than that. But you can kind of look at hard inquiries similar to, I kind of like to use the analogy of a bug hitting your windshield. It's stuck on your windshield for a while. If you're like me, you're kind of lazy, you don't want to go wash your car, and it stays there maybe for a few months, and then when you finally get around to washing your car, it goes away. So hard inquiries will drop off after months, but it's not like a rock hitting your windshield where that's cracked, it's going to stay there and it's staying there until you replace the windshield, right? So just look at a hard inquiry as an annoying bug that hits your windshield that's going to stay there for a few months, but eventually they will drop off. Credit age is something that looks at your average age of all of your open accounts, so you're not going to be able to stretch that out or hack that in any way to boost your score quickly. The only thing I would recommend is not closing your credit cards. Let them just keep going until they close themselves, because if you do close that credit card, you lose all of that history and your average age of open accounts drops. So that I actually just took a hit. As you can see above, I used to be like an 832, but I dropped down to an 830 because I had a couple old credit cards that just closed after 2 years of not using them. So it has medium impact, but again, as you gain more credit, you'll gain a longer credit portfolio, or a longer credit profile, I should say. And then total accounts, it'll give you how many open accounts, how many closed accounts. And really having 21 plus accounts is really what they want to see. So a lot of people don't understand, like, I'm only supposed to have a couple accounts. It doesn't hurt you to have a bunch of open accounts. Just don't open those all within a short amount of time, because then you're going to take a hit with those hard inquiries like we talked about. Another thing to understand is anytime anything gets fixed on your credit or any changes are made to your credit, it generally could take 30 to 45 days to see that on your credit score. Credit bureaus update usually once a month, so depending on what part of the month you are, it could take a month and a half to see those changes that you made, whether it be paying off an account or opening another card. So don't expect your credit score to change tomorrow. Alright guys, to recap. Number 1, pay your bills on time. This seems super obvious, but make sure your payment history, the goal is 100% on time. If you have any late payments already on your credit, I recommend disputing them. You literally have nothing to lose. If they prove they were late after you tried to dispute them, they're going to remain on your credit just as they are today. Nothing negative happens to your credit. So you literally have nothing to lose by trying to dispute everything that's on your credit that's negative. Also, reduce your credit utilization, which means the percentage of available credit to you, the percentage that you're using, that amount. ideally pay off all your bills if you can. Now, I know not everyone's in the situation where they can pay off all their credit cards this month. So, if that's the case, if you're stuck where you can only pay a certain amount, look at opening another credit card, which will give you a little bit more limits, which will lower that percentage of limits that you're using. Now, you have to be disciplined on this. You can't open another credit card and then use it right away. You have to open that credit card. If you gotta cut it up or throw it away, do whatever you have to do, but get another card open to help you lower that, which will add points to your score. Having said that, don't go out and try to open 5 cards and be like, oh, Jake told me to open a bunch of cards so I lower my revolving utilization. That's not what I want you to do. Because if you open 5 cards, that means there's going to be 5 hard credit inquiries, which is going to bring your score down, right? So what you want to do is try to open a card this month, and then you probably want to wait a few months before you try to open another card. But ideally, every point you can gain on that credit utilization, like I talked to before, is going to be a point you can add to your score. So be smart about that. There are always a lot of questions when it comes to credit. So if you have any further questions that I didn't get answered for you, please leave them in the comments below. If you have a specific financial situation that you'd like to get my take on, you can also ask me in the comments below. It usually takes me 24 to 48 hours to get back to you. Also, please share this video. I know we all have friends that have some, credit opportunities, I guess we could say, that would probably benefit from this video. I'm making this video to help you guys out, so obviously share it with as many people as you feel need the help. If you found this video helpful, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button below. It takes me a while to put these videos together, so I appreciate all the support just by clicking the like and subscribe. And lastly, one fun thing, screenshot what your Credit Karma score is, or however you pull your credit when you watch this video, and then after doing some of the things that I talked to you about in this video, take a look 60 days to 90 days later and let me know how much your score went up. Leave it in the comments below and let me know how you guys did. We will see you later in the next video.